Looking for a car you can count on? At AutoMasters, we offer a hand-picked selection of used and certified pre-owned vehicles priced right and ready to drive. With easy financing and expert service, AutoMasters is your trusted dealership from test drive to keys in hand. AutoMasters, driven by trust, powered by service. Visit our website at automasters06.com or stop by today. And oh yeah, tell them Sonia sent you.
She say, sports. She say, sports. She say, sports. She say, sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome offensive analyst for the North Carolina Central Eagles and the first Black woman assistant coach in the NFL, Coach Jennifer King. Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for joining me, and especially Black History Month. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Coach, we're going to go ahead and get started. And one of the questions I always ask, because especially with female athletes, when did your love for sport begin?
Really early. I'm from a small town, and it wasn't a lot going on. We played a lot of sports growing up, so probably 3 or 4 years old, I started getting into sports. I
Wow.
had an older sister, so she played sports. We were always going to her games. And then there was a lot of kids in the neighborhood, so there was always something going on.
That's what's up. So you started early, like
Oh
we
yeah.
had to duck early. Okay. So, we're going to get started. I want to talk about your current chapter right now. You spent the last several years on the biggest stage in the world with the Panthers, Commanders, and the Bears. What brought you back to your home state of North Carolina and specifically to the North Carolina Central Eagles in 2025?
Yeah, it was just an exciting opportunity. Obviously, working in the league, I've been away from North Carolina a while. I'm from North Carolina, so it was an
Mhm.
opportunity to get closer to home, just to be near
Yeah,
family for a season or so. And it was exciting. And then Trey Oliver gave me an opportunity at Central, and we had an 8-4 season, so I had a pretty good year. And it was just a great experience, to be back close to home, but also with the quality HBCU football program.
I love it. Absolutely. So, Coach, you shifted from a position coach to an offensive analyst. How does looking at the game from a macro analytical level differ from the daily grind of coaching a specific room of players?
Yeah. So obviously it's a little more, but I still work with a group. I'm with the receiver group, so I get to still kind of be hands-on with them.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting. Coach Oliver's leaned on me some for game management type things and
Hmm.
clock management type things. So really, I use a lot of the things I learned in the league because it's so important in the league to have good game management, clock management. Almost every week it comes into play. So
Wow.
I learned a lot there, and I'm able to share it now at Central.
That's good. So, speaking of what you learned in the league, what data or film study habits have helped to develop your coaching development skills? Did you pick anything up? Of course you did while you were in the league.
Yeah, I mean, how do we watch tape? That's one of the big things we teach players when they first get
Mhm.
in is, how to watch. Because a lot of time, you just want to watch the ball or just watch yourself. But it's important to find, important keys to watch, especially offensive players watching, who are you primarily matched up against. Obviously, coaching running
Right.
backs, it was mostly linebackers and safeties, and now with receivers, it's cornerbacks and safeties. So how do we watch that tape and how do we
Mhm.
break it down for them? And most importantly for us as coaches, what do the players need, I think, film wise, or in analytics to help them, because sometimes I feel like it's my job so they don't have to watch a whole game. I make my cut ups of things that they need to save them time and also give them, really the meat and potatoes of what they need to see anyway.
Right, absolutely. So coach, as a pioneer, being the first Black woman to be an assistant coach in the NFL, how important is it for you to bring the NFL standard and your high level experience to an HBCU program like NC Central?
Very important. I think arriving at Central, we have the culture over scheme mantra that we use, and obviously the culture was already high when I
Mhm.
arrived. The standard was already high, and I was able to join and be a part of it. I think coming from high standards and high culture, I fit right in. It was something that they already had. I was just able to join and do my part to make it better.
That's what's up. That's awesome. How do you handle the pressure of being the first trailblazer, and what are your views on representation?
I don't really feel there's pressure. I think I've always wanted to be good at anything that I did. I didn't get into this to be a first or anything like that. Just somebody
Hmm.
had to do it. It happened to be me. But I do think it's important to do a great job, just with
Right.
the people coming behind me. I know I'm on a bunch of shoulders to be where I am right now. And, ultimately it's going
Absolutely.
to be people on my shoulders as well. So I think it's huge. As far as representation, I'm kind of being that representation I didn't have. There was no one
Hmm.
that looked like me
Yeah.
coaching football growing up to see. So I think I take that more seriously than, being like a first, just because if you can see it, you can be it. I definitely believe in that. So it's
Mhm.
important to, to be that representation for kids and little girls to see that there's a spot in them for football because football is truly for everybody.
That's right. And coach, but think about it. When you first got on that NFL field with the Panthers, what did you feel? What went through you like, wow? I mean, what happened?
I mean, it's obviously being a fan. Before
Yeah.
I was coaching, the players,
Hmm.
and then you're working with them trying to make them better. And I think
Right.
it was the most important part is that I quickly learned that they didn't care, that I was a woman or anything
That's
like
good.
that. They just wanted to be better, and like, how can you make me better? That's all they care about. And I think everywhere I've been, that's what it's been for the players. Can you build relationships with them? Can you make them better? And it's no different now at the college level.
That's awesome. Speaking of relationships, Coach, you met Ron Rivera at the NFL Women's Forum in 18. Excuse me, and told him that you wanted to coach. Looking back, what was the most challenging part of the first internship with the Carolina Panthers? Was it the speed of the game or the newness of the environment?
Really, the biggest challenge was I was still a head coach at Johnson Wales University in Charlotte.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, luckily we were next door. Their facility was right next to our facility. But the hardest part was probably managing, being a head coach and still
Wow.
being there a lot too. So it was a lot of bouncing back and forth. But obviously my AD Trudy Lacey was on board with it, and
Mhm.
so were the Panthers. So luckily it was an easy walk to go between the two. But that was probably the biggest challenge was the balance and the act of doing both.
I did not know that was going on at the same time. That's something. So you would leave being the head coach and then have to go over, intern, and learn. That's what's up. But that says a lot about your character because you're able to take you you're able to be under leadership as well as be a leader. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So, Coach King, Ron Rivera was very instrumental in your NFL career. You worked together in three different organizations: Panthers, Arizona, Hot Shots, and Washington. What is the most valuable piece of advice Coach Rivera has ever given you?
One of the most important things that he says all the time is just be where your feet are. I
Mm.
think just being present in what you're doing, and that's something we use for the players all the time. But as a coach, it's just being locked in. And I always tell younger coaches, I think I've gotten every position by doing a great job, in my
Mhm.
current role. I wasn't looking around or looking to the next job, looking for the next job. I was doing a great job in my current role. So I was staying present and that led to new opportunities. So I think that's one of the most important things, just, grow where you're planted and be where your feet are.
I love that. It sounds simple, but it's very profound because a lot of people are places, but they're not, I guess present or planted. So that's pretty deep. I'm gonna take that. So, Coach, when you were promoted in Washington, you became the first Black woman to be a full-time assistant coach in NFL history. You've said before that you just wanted to coach football, but when did the weight of the historical significance finally sink in?
I really think when, it got on social media,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I always tell people, I
It was
wish
a
it
big
was.
deal.
Yeah, but I wish it was just cool story I could tell about how it happened. But literally I'm working and he comes by my office and tell me that, I'm gonna get promoted. I was like, oh, I appreciate that, coach. And then I went right back to what I was doing. Like it never even dawned on me, any of the ramifications of it. And then once it got to social media is when it kind of took off. So that's when I really thought about it and realized what was going on.
That's awesome. Well, we were excited out here. So, seeing a black woman in the on that playing field, on that in the NFL, that was dope. We were excited. Um, just happy for you, and knowing that doors have been opening, but you're opening doors now. Like you say, you've been on other shoulders, but now people are going to be on your shoulders because you opened that door, you kicked it in. So that's awesome. That is
For sure.
awesome. So my favorite team, the Chicago Bears, since I was 5, you've coached guys like J.D. McKissick and the Chicago Bears backfield. What is your secret to building immediate trust and respect with veteran NFL players who may have never been coached by a woman before?
I mean, I think it starts with building great relationships. Fortunately, you get to meet them in the off season where, the schedule is a little lighter, so you have more individual time with them to really get to know them.
Hmm.
And that helps a lot when it comes to coaching them because you know them more on a personal basis. So it's not just
Right.
football all the time. You have to be able to talk to them about other things in life to help them,
Yeah.
outside of football as well. So when it comes to football, you've already gained that trust and it's a lot easier to do that. And they know, I'm here to make them better and they want to be better. Obviously, they became NFL players by, being elite at what they want to do. And that's one of the best parts of my job is helping make elite athletes even better. And they want to work and they want to be better and coach hard.
And you know what? You just said like they sometimes will open up to you. Do you think it was easier for them to open up to you because you were a woman?
Yeah,
Sometimes I think
I
they.
mean, yeah, I don't know, especially the young guys like rookies and things. They
Yeah.
always seem to kind of to levitate my way. With the
Hmm.
questions that maybe they don't feel comfortable asking in a group setting.
Right.
Like I've always had good relationships with the rookies, but I think in Carolina it was funny. Sometimes I kind of felt like auntie vibes, just because of the things that they talked about. But I mean, obviously that shows the relationships that I had with them that they felt comfortable talking about those things. And I feel as coaches, it's our responsibility to help them in more than football as well. So, and I was there
I
when
agree.
they needed me.
That's beautiful. That's what's up. So, Coach, you were a standout in basketball and softball at Guilford College. Did I say that correct?
Yeah.
How did being a high level basketball player help your vision on the football field when you started playing for the Carolina Phoenix and the DC Divas?
I mean, I think the main thing is just the work ethic it took to be a really good athlete. Growing up and obviously, being a great college athlete as well. So, that work ethic it took to be great there is the same thing it took to
Mhm.
be great in football. A lot of sacrifice with time, a lot of hard work and dedication went into it, but you was able to reap, what I sowed. So I think that was the best thing about it.
I love it. I love it. So, Coach, you played for nearly 12 years in the WFA, Women's Football Alliance, as a quarterback, wide receiver, and safety. Does having that player's perspective give you an edge when you're breaking down tape for the Eagles today?
Oh, 1000%. I mean, you know, from a player perspective and a coaching perspective, I think it's nice to have both.
Hmm.
Because sometimes, things aren't as black and white as you feel they are as a coach because you've known because you've played how things can change sometimes. So
Right.
I think it's definitely helped a lot. And it brings I think a whole 360 view and communication to those things that I do.
I love it. That's what's up. So, Coach, you led Johnson and Wales to a USCAA basketball national title in just 2 years. What did that championship run teach you about building a winning culture from scratch that you still use in football today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about what do your team need, in order the needs of the team. And
Hmm.
when I stepped in, it was a fairly young program, so it was still growing, and they had a good base. We just needed
Hmm.
to grow more, and that's something that we did. We got the players in place that we needed, and then everyone was able to buy into what we wanted to accomplish, and
Mhm.
that's what it's all about. I thought I saw the vision that I had of what we needed to
Right.
be champions, and I carried that, everywhere I go now. So, what won there won't necessarily win in where
Mhm.
I am now. It just depends on what the team needs and being able to see that and adjust, your leadership style to get those actions taken care of.
That's what's up. I love that. Yeah. You get where you need it. Yeah, that's great. So in early 2026, we've seen more women enter the NFL and collegiate coaching ranks. Do you feel the conversation is finally moving away from female coaches to just great coaches, or is there still a lot of work to do?
I mean, I would say I hope so, but I mean, there's always going to be work right now.
Yeah,
There's a lot, but there's not enough for it to not be a thing. One day maybe, but we know we're still working on it. I think there's a lot of women doing great things, and
hmm
I'm excited for the future. But we still got a little more work to do before
still got a little more work. Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. That is true. So, Coach, you've been a big ambassador for women's collegiate flag football. With it hitting the Olympics in 2028, how do you see the sport acting as a pipeline for the next generation of female coaches?
I mean, I think it's gonna fill a void that
Mhm.
we currently have. Just because it's going to create a pipeline, I think. And I mean, there's studies and statistics that say by 2030, 2031, there are going to be more girls playing football than boys
That's
on
great.
the flag. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I think it's going to build a stronger pipeline because you're going to start having girls growing up that may
Mhm.
only play flag football, and that's kind of all they know. So they're going to, some of them going to eventually be great coaches as well.
So, do you think with by 2031, with more girls playing football than guys, do you think that'll diminish girl basketball at some point, or is just what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it could. I mean, I think there's space for both, especially,
Yeah,
at the different levels. I was a multi-sport athlete.
hmm
So I
that's
think
true.
I think there are a lot of people that can do both, and some of your best football players are basketball, soccer players, track athletes. So you open that for the opportunity for them to do both, and without necessarily specializing. But one beautiful thing about flag is that it adds another sport, and adds a space sometimes for a girl or a woman that they don't really have in other sports.
That's
So like when
true.
I played tackle football, you got maybe an offensive or defensive lineman. They may not necessarily have the body type to be successful in
hmm
volleyball or basketball, but we love them, in football, and
hmm
they're able to find a space for their body type, and we welcome them, and that's something that they can excel
Right.
in. They may not be able to excel in another sport.
That's true. I just had an interview with the commissioner of Balls Her Choice Sports. Do you know Maria Lachelle? She has her own flag football league.
I think,
She's in
yeah,
Carolina
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
She's in
yeah,
North Carolina.
yeah,
I Yeah, she is doing some awesome things, and she did not grow up liking sports. She just started liking sports 10 years ago because of flag football,
yeah,
and now she's a commissioner. So it's amazing. It's amazing what flag football and tackle football for women is doing. In this country, it's amazing.
yeah. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah. So, Coach, you were once a police officer coaching basketball on the side and while chasing a football dream. How did the discipline of police work prepare you for the high pressure environment of the NFL sideline?
I mean, it's like two different worlds. That's kind of the thing I
Yes.
talk about, that a stressful situation as a police officer is way more stressful than trying to win a
Oh,
game.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
definitely important, but you're trying to go home, so
Right. Your life
that's
on
a
the
whole
line.
different aspect. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think it helped definitely in high pressure situations to be able to stay
Mhm.
calm and make good decisions.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're trying to get home, life on the line. So yeah, it's totally different. But I think there is some different it's some similarities, like you said, the discipline, being calm in a situation because yeah, but hmm, oh well. Last question. What is your message to the woman listening right now who feels like her dream is too far fetched?
Well, first of all, it's never too far-fetched. We always talk about having those dreams so big that people start laughing when you say it, or just being
Yeah,
delusional. And obviously, like me and a lot of other people now, that those delusional things are happening, and somebody has to do it. So it can definitely be you. I think you're never too old or too young to try to change directions and pivot if it's something that you really want to do. Just be prepared, because obviously it's not going to go maybe as smooth as you want it to, but
right.
how bad do you want it? So I think that's the main thing is, being able to handle the obstacles that come with it. But it's okay if people laugh at what you want to do. You just got to prove them wrong.
Prove them wrong. So did anybody ever laugh at your dream to be a coach in the NFL?
It happened so fast. I don't think people had time. Yeah, it literally happened within like a month or so. So
Well, that's good. I'm glad
yeah,
that's good. They didn't have a chance. That's what's up. Coach King, thank you so much for joining me today. However, we play a little game that's called What You Know.
okay,
And this is a way for the listeners and myself to get to know the guests better. I'll ask you a few questions and you choose the one that best fits. It's just a game, no big deal. You don't have to know it, but it's just fun.
okay.
And we'll be talking about the teams that you actually were coaching.
Okay.
How many Super Bowls have the Commanders won? Is it 3, 1, 5, or 2?
3.
That is correct. 1983, 88, and 92. Who was the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl with the Washington, what was Redskins at that time? Warren Moon, Doug Williams, Randall Cunningham, or Cordell Stewart?
Oh my God, Doug. Love Doug.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1988. The Carolina Panthers were announced as the 29th NFL franchise on October 26, 1993, and began play in what year? Was it 1993, 1995, 1996, or 1994?
Ooh, when did they begin? Like
He's a little girl.
it has to be like 95 or 96, right?
Very good. It was 95. Correct.
Yeah, I remember they played at Clemson when they first started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Name one of the three most iconic, well, name three most iconic players that played with the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Three of them.
I mean, Cam Newton.
Mhm.
Luke Kuechly's a Hall of Famer now. Julius Peppers is also a Hall of Famer. So
There you go.
gotta name those. I mean, it's a lot of others, but they're two
yeah.
Hall of Famers.
Well, the three I had down, and I almost put Luke, Cam, Greg Olsen, and Steve Smith Jr. So but
Absolutely.
those work.
Yeah.
When was the last time my Bears won a Super Bowl? Was it 1992, 1990, 1985, or 1986?
85.
What was the 85 season, but they won in 96. So January 26, 1986 Super Bowl.
Yeah. 85.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, that was correct. He was nicknamed Sweetness. He was a legendary Chicago Bears running back from 1975 until 1987, renowned for his durability, versatile playing style, and charitable work. He was also a 1993 Hall of Fame inductee, and he held all-time rushing record upon retirement. Won one Super Bowl. Was it, of course you know, William Bridge Perry, Richard Dent, Walter Payton, or Mike Ditka?
Walter Payton.
Absolutely. Mississippi on Jackson State.
Yeah.
Jackson State Tigers. So thank you so much, Coach. Tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media. And tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, so like Instagram is Jennifer.King5. On like Twitter, Jennifer King5. Threads is Jennifer.King5 too. So I'm on everything. So LinkedIn, all of those.
Okay. And guys, you can follow me on She Say Sports on Facebook, She Say Sports 23 on Instagram, and please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports. Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia from She Say Sports. Tune in every Friday morning at 11 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, or catch the latest via our link tree. Don't just watch, be a part of the conversation. Head over to our YouTube page right now to follow, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you Friday.